Good evening, everybody. This is Pastor Wendell Jones, and thank y'all so much for tuning in for another edition of The Relevant Church. As you can see, we have our first show that's live and in color here. And yes, everybody, we did practice COVID protocols, and everybody's got a good temperature. And they said they hadn't been around nobody with COVID, so I'm hoping they telling the truth. Tonight is about telling the truth. Listen, we got a great show for you tonight, and yeah, the title is provocative. I did it on purpose. The title is "The Battle of the Sexes: What's Wrong with Y'all?" And so, I've got 4 people here with me that I love dearly. All 4 are single, well, unmarried. We might find out that they might be dating, but if they're dating and they're not married, they are unmarried. And so we're going to talk about this whole notion of being saved and single and trying to figure out if I want somebody, how to get, all that stuff we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. And so if you know somebody that should be watching this, go ahead and call them. But how about this? Go ahead and share right now. Let's get this thing out there. It's going to have a good time. They already giggling. That's called nervous energy. They're excited to talk to you. I'm excited to talk to them tonight. So we're going to get started. Let me tell you who I got with me, because we got a great panel. Over here to my left is my man, Kenneth Page. And we call him KP. Kenneth is a finance graduate of Coastal Carolina and now operates as a credit officer with TD Banks and serves in various employee development and diversity roles. He also mentors at Miracle Hill Rescue Mission. He serves as a youth minister at our church here at CYM. He also coaches high school football and operates a nonprofit entity called adulting101.org, committed to educating young people on navigating adulthood. Kenneth has also authored 2 books, Success Under Construction, a guide for maturing people, and the second book is Adulting 101, it's Curriculum Volume 1. KP, welcome to the show, man. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be here.
All right. And also beside KP over here, we have Miss Keisha Williams. Keisha is a native of Greenville, South Carolina. An incredible photographer, an influencer, a risk taker, a self-proclaimed master creative. She is a sister, a daughter, a friend, and your around-the-way girl who unapologetically lives her life on her own terms with no regrets. Amen now. Her motto is live today like it's your last. She believes that her greatest calling and superpower is creating space for people to be their complete and authentic self when in her presence. Simply put, Keisha is an entire vibe. Bars. And sitting across from Keisha is Miss April Evans. April Evans is the Chief Empowerment Officer of Women Leaders, LLC, a growing dynamic platform dedicated to inspiring and empowering every woman on the planet to create, fix, and take over her world through leadership curriculum programs, empowerment coaching, and purpose-filled gatherings. April, also an instructor for the Wendell Jones Leadership Institute, partners with small businesses and corporations to facilitate her training for their female professionals from her published curriculum, Women in Leadership, Excelling in a Man's World. April is also a star over at TD Banks as well. So April, we welcome you to the show. Good to have you. And last but not least, Mr. Debonair himself, Mr. Kenny Moore. Kenny is the owner of Kenny's One-on-One Personal Training. Kenny also serves as the head of our security or safety ministry here at the church. He also has provided security for several businesses and several celebrities and some of our high-profile people here in the upstate. He's done that for several years. He is a native of Spartanburg, my hometown. Won't hold it against him that he went to Boiling Springs High School. But now Kenny calls Greenville home. Kenny, thank you so much for being on the show. How are y'all? Y'all good?
Great.
Yeah, good.
Yes, sir.
Y'all ready to do this thing?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So let's talk a little bit. Let's see what comes up out of this. All right, I introduced all of y'all as being unmarried. So this is about being saved, single, trying to navigate this thing, still love God, still represent God right. And how do we do this thing? And what do you want to do with it? So the question I have for y'all, just to kick our conversation off, is, given that all of you are presently unmarried, let's just go around the room and tell me how I want to ask. I had a crazy idea hit me. I won't say that one yet. Just tell me, do you do you want to get married? Why or why not? Anybody can go first.
Well, I'll start. I've been married before.
Okay.
I want to be remarried.
Okay.
Why? I love the institution of marriage. I just wasn't married to the right person, and that's just what it is. But marriage is a beautiful thing. Commitment is a beautiful thing. Monogamy is a beautiful thing. So yes.
Check, check, check. She walked down that list. Exactly. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Who want to go next? Who want in or who want out?
For me, I've been engaged. Was in the right situation, the right person at the right time. For a moment, I didn't want to be in that situation again. But feel like my sister over there, I really do want to be happy. I want to be married to the right person. I want her to allow me to be her protector, her king, and just be the man I need to be for myself first, and love her the way she needs to be loved. So yes, I do want to be married.
Hey, didn't I tell y'all he was smooth? That sound like a Christian Mingle commercial. I want to be her king. I want to protect her. Mufasa. All right, we got 45 minutes. So I guess I got to try to keep control of this. Thank you, Kenny. That was good, man. Next, KP April. Which one do I want to jump in the water?
I'll take it. I would like to be married again. Like Keisha, I was married before, and to the wrong person. And if you get married and you go through a marriage that's not a good one, it can take a lot out of you. Absolutely. So it's like, I want to be remarried again, but it's gonna be, a lot more cautious. A lot more wisdom going into it than the first time.
All right. That's good. Very seasoned answer.
Okay, so I do want to be married. I have never been married. I've never been engaged. So single life is all that I know. But I do want to be married. But there is some hesitancy, I will say that. I do want to be in a committed relationship, in a committed lifelong relationship, let me say that. But yeah, I do want to be married.
Good deal. You got something,
I
Keisha?
just got a question. So why the hesitation?
She took my question. Somebody tell Keisha, this here my show.
A whole vibe.
I forgot, she's a whole vibe. Yes, April, why the hesitation?
I love it.
The hesitation for me personally is because I have seen, or my experiences, I have seen people make marriage the goal. And marriage just has never been a goal of mine. Because I feel as though love can be achieved. People look at love, the ultimate creation of love has to be achieved in marriage. And I don't see love as being achievable just within the confines of marriage. So me always trying to be the rebellious person and test outside of what people say and what I see, I've noticed that I've been able to be fulfilled in other areas of my life without having been married. But in addition to that, I'm scared. I'm scared about getting into a marriage and realizing that I can't be my full entire self. Because you are in relationships and people, you can put on for so long, but then when people really get to see your life and see how you move and see, and see everything that you are already doing, they act like they're cool with it. But when it starts to interfere with things that they want to do with you, then it becomes an issue. So I just want to make sure that I allow that person that I'm with to be their full entire self, and I want to have that same privilege of being my whole entire self and we're just coming together and it gels and it works.
Oh, that's good. Remind me, I'm gonna come back to all of y'all because I want to know what y'all are afraid of, because everybody has a fear. Because I know I do as well. But you just touched on something, and you kind of answered it you answered toward the end. But I want to put it back out there for further discussion, because you said you want to be your whole entire self in the marriage. Now, but here's something that I see, I've experienced, but also I see a lot. I have to counsel it a lot. Is that the human tendency is that when we are in the hunt for relationships, we are smart enough to not disclose our whole entire selves. Everybody's quick to say, I want to be my whole entire selves, but I rarely find people who present the whole thing. They pour the whole thing out once the ceremony is over. And so let's talk about that. All of y'all desire to be married again. How do you feel about, and are you presently trying to do it, put your whole self out there, or are you still just trying to put your best foot forward to be your most attractive self?
I would say for me, what you see is what you get. Like I think being married previously and going through that whole dilemma of really trying to find who I was and conforming to what he wanted versus what I needed, it forced me after that divorce to look at myself and say, who are you and who do you want people to see?
Good.
And it forced me to sit and say, you know what? You're going to get all of me up front, off the top. You can like it, love it, hate it, whatever, but it is what it is. And I feel like with me living from that space, that's why I can be the entire vibe and people be their authentic selves, because I'm going to give you me. I don't have time to be 2 and 3 and 4 different people for whatever room I'm in. I'm a supervisor at work. I don't change Keisha because I work, in the healthcare industry and I'm in management.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be me, so I just feel like once you've been in that type of situation, it just kind of forces you to say, you know what, this is me. Take it, leave it. It's up to you. You missing out, not me.
I'll add to what Keisha is saying. For me, I look to see, I give my whole entire self, but I also have to check your capacity. So what that means for me is when I dish out this much of who I am, not that I'm changing who I am, but I'm just seeing how much of me, my real authentic self, can you handle. I'm trying to check to see what is your capacity to actually deal with a woman like me. A woman that has, I am a supervisor at work. I do have ministry responsibilities that I absolutely love. I do have a business on the side. I am employed through the Wanda Jones Leadership Institute. I love God. I love to study. I love to talk about the word. I love to go out. Can you handle all those facets of me? So I give you doses to see, okay, let me give him a little bit of this. Let me give him a little bit of that. Does he have the capacity to be able to handle me in those areas? And then if I see that he can't, then I start to pull back and I realize, you know what, I can't be my full entire self with you. So maybe, or absolutely, we won't be able to move forward to a place where we actually start speaking about commitment, but we can stay right here in this arena that we're in.
So y'all got two different approaches. Cause it sounds like you full blast.
Yeah, because
and you piecemealing.
I don't need your permission to be me. Like, I'm not asking for your permission to be all of who I am. I did that for a very long time. So I just live in a space now where I'm like, this is it. I mean, so what you gonna do?
Fellas, how do y'all respond to that?
Pre-marriage, I used to try and put my best foot forward. I'm trying to impress the woman. I'm trying to woo her. But then you go through it and it's like, that's not me every day. So now I don't. If you're not impressed with me, you're just not going to be impressed. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to try and be impressive, because if we go into a long-standing relationship, you're going to get the regular, everyday KP on a regular basis, not the I'm trying to impress you day in and day out KP. So I think even for a level of like protection or security, for the individual in the relationship, because nobody wants to get in a relationship, they're showing themselves and then feel rejected. So the more of you, you can settle that on the front end, it protects you on the back end. Like, I don't have to worry about you rejecting me later because I'm showing it to you now. So that's kind of my approach.
I want to hear you, Kenny, but I want to ask them something based on what he just said. Okay. Because I wonder if that sounded different coming from him than y'all saying it about yourselves. Because he started out with, listen, I ain't trying to impress you. And so don't y'all want to be wooed? Don't y'all want to be courted? How do we balance that? Because typically, don't you want him to go all out for you, right? Or how?
Naturally, any woman wants a man to, I won't say impress you, but yeah, you want to feel desired and wanted, and you want to feel special for sure. Um, for him to say, for what I heard,
Yeah, tell me what you heard.
for what I heard him say, it's not so much as I'm not going to make you feel special, but I'm not going to go out of my way and act as if I'm, say, Michael B. Jordan, but I'm KP. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go out of the way and do all of this extra.
It almost felt a little insulting, KP. Like, you ain't no Michael B. Jordan, but okay, I'm sorry. Carry on.
I'm just saying, like, from what I heard, that's basically what he was saying. I'm
Oh, that's
gonna
good.
do me. I'm not going out of the way. But at the same time, I feel like when a man is really attracted to a woman and like has that connection, he's gonna do what needs to be done in order for her to feel special and
Yeah.
to impress her, or whatever the term you want to use for it. I just feel like it's it naturally happens. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, every woman want to feel special.
Hey, you got something to give on that one?
Yes, I agree with what Keisha said. When I heard him say, I'm not going to be impressive, instantly for me, it sounded like authenticity. And,
Okay.
and for me, that's attractive.
Good.
The fact that you're telling me that I'm not going to put on for you, I'm going to show you who I am up front. This is who KP is every single day. That authenticity, him just showing up as his whole entire self, that is, to me, that is attractive. And what I feel like he was also saying, to me, what would make me feel special is the fact that he is pursuing me. To me, that has a spark of interest for me. The fact that you're pursuing me makes me feel special. And as Keisha said, I'm sure that as you continue to pursue me, if you really desire me, you're going to do some things that make me feel special. But you're not going to consistently try to be this KP that is impressive when that's not who you are consistently all the time. And for me, that is attractive because you're showing me who you are up front.
Okay. Good deal. Kenny, how you show up, bruh?
I think for me, it's kind of piggyback off of what Keisha said, and something my grandma always taught me. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be the whole 100% me. I'm going to be me 24/7, 7 days a week. I'm going to be. I'm not going to
Pull your mic up for me.
I'm never going to be somebody that, as they say, that she wants me to be. Or I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to be LL Cool J or going to be this person because you feel like I need to be that person. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be Kenny 24/7 days a week, and learning from my past engagement, and I guess I can say this too. The pastor was a big part of me on that walk with me, and I kind of shut everything down for this woman because I didn't know the whole picture. What I mean by that is, I was in a relationship with her daughter, and her ex-husband. So I gave 2 years of my life to them, and like I said, pastor was on this walk with me. A few more people was on this walk with me, and I didn't know what else to do.
Right.
I mean, I was at wit's end. I really was. I was at wit's end. I was at a point where I was going to do something stupid to her ex-husband because I had enough. And what it did, it allowed me to going through the teaching that pastor was giving me, the healing and process God was teaching me. It taught me I had to go reevaluate myself. I had to go look in the mirror. And Minister Ava preached that a while back. Go look in the mirror. I had to go reevaluate me because I was doing some stuff. I was becoming somebody I wasn't for her because I thought that's what I needed to be. And God was letting me know, you need to be your wholehearted self. She's not where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And her being not where I was at made me realize, okay, it's time for me to back up and get my life back together and move on. And I had to do that. But it was a process God actually, you know, the process was she called everything off on our on our 2-year anniversary, and that was my wake up call. So then from that point on, so now with me, when it comes to a woman, if I'm feeling a woman, if I'm seeing a woman, I'm going to study that woman. I'm going to watch her, not watch her like stalking, but watch her, kind of watch what she likes, you know, things to watch, see what she likes to do, see how she carry herself, and that lets me know how to approach her and how to come at her.
That's good.
That's me.
That's good. And I think everybody kind of touched on that too, because touched on something that I think everybody in this room has been guilty of altering you to hold on,
Yes.
to hold on. And even to admit that there was something about the relationship that was worth holding on to. But at the end of the day, losing you becomes a price that's a little too high to pay. And so that's good. I hope y'all hear that out there tonight. April, you said a few minutes ago, you know, a woman enjoys the idea of being pursued. And men like to hunt. But in this day of this more modern woman, how do y'all feel, everybody, how do you feel about the woman being the pursuer?
Like, to what degree?
I ain't talking degrees. I just throw my question. Again, April, this is my show. No, I don't want to narrow it down for you. I want you to come at it however you hear it. How do y'all feel about the woman being the aggressor, the pursuer?
I go on that. I love a confident woman. I love a woman that knows what she wants and not afraid to go after what she wants. For me, that's a turn on. That lets me know she's very strong, she's very intelligent, and she's not afraid to come and get what she wants. That for me, I don't like a woman that's standoffish, a woman that sits back and expect a man to come and get her. That's not me. It's not my style. I'm not going to do that. But a woman that shows, a woman that's like her wholehearted self and this, look here, this is what I want. I like this. I like. Oh, let's get it. You know, that's me. I
All
like
right.
it.
I likes what I see, and I want you.
That's it.
Well, okay. So, Tina, you might have to edit that to save me some time. Listen, I've already decided, folks, and I hope my guests are okay with this. We're not going to get done with this in 45 minutes. We're going to keep going. We're going to make 2 shows out of this. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all feel? Okay, but let's be a gentleman. Let's let one of the sisters represent their gender. How y'all feel about the woman being the aggressor, the pursuer?
I have no problem with what Kenny said. However, if I show interest, that's pretty much where I won't say draw the line, but for lack of better terms, draw the line. If I show interest, you know I'm interested in you. After that, I'm not going to chase you. Gotcha. What I have found in my singleness is a lot of men nowadays, I don't know what it is. It's like they want you literally to chase them. And I'm like, y'all have got it twisted. Like, not being cocky, but have you seen me? Like, bruh, seriously. No, we're not doing this in 2021. Yeah. Like, I don't understand. I understand confidence. Yeah. I'm very confident. If I have an attraction to someone, I have no problem saying that. But at what point does that become, I'm going to lay back and allow her to pursue me? I just, and that's what I have run into. It just irritates the.
Can I say something like this?
The Jesus.
Can I come? It's funny you say that because.
Pull your mic up, Ken.
It's funny you say that because me being in the security world, doing security and seeing all kind of stuff in the clubs and stuff, seeing classy women, seeing not so classy women, and seeing the way they approach it and what the things they allow guys to do and the things they do to guys. I totally agree with what you just said because if a woman's showing me interest, that one of 2 things is going to happen. A light switch is going to go on. If I'm feeling her, if I'm not feeling her, then no harm there. But I don't want a woman chasing me, and I don't want to chase a woman because if my thing is if I'm showing interest, like she's showing interest, we both need to come together and look here, have a conversation, then kind of go from there. I totally agree with what you're saying because I've seen that. I've seen men want women to chase them, and I've seen women actually chase men. Just like I've seen men chase women. I don't agree with that. I'm like you, Keisha, on that. I think if you show a man interest and he's interested, that is it. That's my time. Let's sit down. Let's talk. Let's go have coffee. Let's go have brunch. Let me get to know you. So I agree with you on that.
Kenny said brunch. We changing today. see, listen, hey y'all, hey, look at me, audience. When you come to CYM, you stop having lunch. We have April KP.
I love it, boy. I love it.
April KP, how do y'all feel about the woman being the pursuer?
You're about to say something, KP.
Keisha said a word that stuck out, showing interest. And it's like I'm really indifferent who's, pursuing who, but it's like you got to show interest. And I think there's this natural thing for men to chase and women to, be pursued. But I think it's just an error sometimes when it's like the woman don't show no interest back. If I'm pursuing you, show some interest. And show interest, I'm gonna keep pursuing. You don't show interest, I'm gonna stop. But I think in either case, it just, a lot of it is just sorted out with mutual attraction or mutual interest. Because if it don't matter whether it's the man or the woman who's chasing who, if you're not really into that person, you're not going to respond to them like you would respond to someone that you're actually interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well said, sir. Okay, April, you stalled long enough. It's your.
Well, Keisha and I are not the same person, but I do I do agree with a lot of what she said. But I do not, as Kenny was saying, I can be aggressive. I can be assertive. I can take the initiative. I don't mind telling you that I'm attracted to you. I think that you're fine. I think you're handsome. Or, whatever it may be. Oh my gosh, you have some pretty teeth. I mean, I will start off the conversation some kind of way to acknowledge that, hey, I've been checking you out and I really want to get to know a little bit more about you. I have no problem with initiating that type of conversation. But when it comes to chasing, that word chasing has a negative connotation to me as a woman. I am not going to chase a man. I'm not. Now, I will, like I said, I will show initiative. I will show interest. And I mean, trust me, I almost have that down to a science almost when it comes to that, which has not led to some not so great things. But I have no problem with showing interest, but at some point that's going to get cut off. When it's not being reciprocated, or if I don't see that you're showing the same level of interest, if not more, then all that ends for me.
Let me jump in here real quick, because there is a phenomenon that's going on nowadays that we still have to address, though, even in that, because I know even in talking with men, when y'all are not in the room, men feel like they have to kind of approach y'all cautiously because of all the things that are going on, and from Me Too to talking to you in the workplace, letting you know I'm interested in the workplace. There is a fear that a compliment could put you in HR. So how do we ladies, educate the bras? How do you navigate that to make sure that I didn't misread your sign, or how does a man come at you in pursuing in a way that he feels comfortable in doing so? That's like HR, but also let's throw this in there too. That their DM inbox or whatever won't be screenshotted and made to be ridiculed on social media. So that there are some things now that are out there that make men a little hesitant sometimes to show. How do we deal with that?
Well, I will start off by saying that I'm not the type of person who's going to screenshot your DMs and your inboxes to me. I don't care what you got going on in your outside life. If you're married, if you're with somebody and you inboxing me, I'm just not going to put you on blast like that. That's not how I get down. But I will shut it down. But I don't have to get receipts and blast it out for the world to see.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as approaching from an HR perspective, I work in HR. I'm a group manager in human resources. So the one thing that we do to shy away from you having any type of harassment claim against you is one, don't pursue in the workplace. Don't pursue in the workplace, but you can pursue her outside of work, but don't say anything to her at work that's going to possibly lead to some type of harassment claim against you. And then if you want to keep it simple, for me, if you are pursuing me and you don't want to rub me the wrong way, whether we're out, whether we're at dinner, you see me out at another table, whatever it may be, instead of assuming that, I feel some kind of way or assuming that, well, she's interested in me too, let me just go based on your own merit. Hey, I've been looking at you. I really like what I see, or you have this good vibe. I would really love to talk to you a little bit more. Instead of thinking that you're already trying to size me up and thinking that you know my style, I know this type, I know how she might respond, and then so you're kind of creating your own introduction based off that, you're going to mess up every single time. But if you come as your true, authentic self, you can never lose. Just come at me and say, you know what, I'm really interested in you. I like what I see, or I've enjoyed watching how you interact with your girls. I like your vibe. I like your energy. I would love to talk to you a little bit more. For me, that works.
Keisha?
I agree with everything she just said. I don't work in HR, but if I were to say, if someone were to approach someone, whether it's at work or outside of work, don't be aggressive. Like, I see so many guys nowadays, it's like, you're aggressive, and your approach is all wrong, and so that's the reason why I feel like especially if it's in the workplace, you probably end up with a sexual harassment case because your approach is totally off. Approach me, hey, I like your jacket. Your shoes are nice. Girl, that cut look good on you. Something, but don't come at me in an aggressive manner. That automatically I shut down.
Keisha, what's aggressive?
Hey, black dress. What's good, Ma? I just, for me, that don't work for me. A blue jacket. Like, don't do that to me.
Yo, shawty.
Hey, shawty. Like, no, don't do that. Compliment me in a way, but don't be like, girl, you wearing that dress. No, bruh, that is not going to get my attention. If anything, you could be Michael B. Jordan.
You kind of stuck on that right there, huh?
And if you say to me, what that nice? And if you say to me, hey, you sure is wearing that dress, or hey, blue jacket, or something like that, I've shut down. Like, I can't hear anything beyond that. So I think your guy's approach is everything. And then another thing that I see nowadays, if I'm not interested, don't be mad. And then now you want to call me out my name because I'm not showing interest to you. So it's like, I feel like some of the guys nowadays, it's a different dynamic from what used to be. But that's just my opinion. Approach me gently.
I think I totally agree with y'all say, but what if a man does approach you in that manner, the way you want to be approached, and as a man, they still get the attitude of like they did something wrong approaching a female the way he should approach her. And I've been in situations like that, just simply being myself, being nice, saying the right things, and get basically cussed out.
I think that's just the woman. I don't think that it's necessarily anything that you've done. Maybe it's something with her. For me personally, I'm not going to make a man feel less than if you're coming at me the way that I would want someone to approach me. If I'm not interested, I'm just going to let you know I'm not interested, but I'm not going to, oh my God, why are you talking to me? Mm-hmm. I've seen it too.
Yep, that's what they do.
Honestly, I got some homegirls that's like that, but,
It's real.
I'm going to let it just sit out there for a minute. Meeting people at church, since this is about church, relevant church. Whole nother setting. Is that a no? Is that a negative? Is that a positive? What is that? What comes to mind right now as you envision somebody doing all that y'all just said, fellas, but it's at church?
To me, the setting doesn't matter. Whether it's church or if I'm at a restaurant, like approach me the right way. That's my thing. A mutual respect. Just have a respect for people and approach someone the way you would want to be approached. That's my thing.
My thing is, but don't use church as a guise to be aggressive. Don't use these times for fellowship, like where we're hugging on each other to try to get your feel on.
That's real.
You know, on the
That's
low.
real.
Don't do that. You know, or don't try to call me sis in front of every sentence that you say, hey sis, because you're trying to get my attention and you really on the low trying to come at me. I mean, just be you. But I think from what I've seen, people will, or men will use church as their launching pad, you know, to get at a woman when they use it as a cape or super cape to try to come at a woman, or to be somewhere that they're not super spiritual. It's on the other end of the spectrum. I'm going to be super spiritual, and all we're going to talk about is scriptures. I mean, yeah, I'm a minister. I love Jesus, but my God, Jesus knows who he is without you saying his name 50 times. You know, but that's just me.
I mean, I feel like, you know, regardless of the setting, you know, as a man, if you're approaching a woman, you know, something simple, hey, you look nice, would you like to go get lunch? Like, ain't too much gonna go wrong with that statement. So it's a lot of approach with it.
Beat off what they said too. The setting doesn't really matter, but don't be somebody in church and be somebody else outside of church. Don't do that with me. And like April said, me being Pastor Zomberry, being active in the church and who I am, like I said, if you want to get feels and stuff, don't do that. I mean, seriously, don't.
Kitty, they feeling on you.
Pastor, don't. I'm saying, I'm glad we're having this conversation. We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it real. I mean, I'll work out. I'm a trainer. I do.
Well, Kenny, I'm glad you. Hold on, pause right there. I'm glad you said it because I was laughing at April on the inside. She's talking about the brothers trying to get a feel. But listen, them sisters,
Lord have mercy.
them saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled sisters be trying to do the same thing now. Minister April, they do. They do. Because again, trust me, I'm a pastor. I've been in church pretty much all my life, and you know, church catches grief. This is the place to go get women. This is the place to go get vulnerable people, and normally the streets say this is the place to come get vulnerable women. But in my time in church, I've seen women run through a church just like men do.
Yes.
I have, and so that can sometimes make it an interesting place. And to create some interesting dynamics when it comes to trying to meet people. And does that influence your approach or your hesitancy? Because it is the church and the expectations. Because as much as we want to say, don't be somebody different outside. Something you feel it. Sometimes you feel different once you come in here. And so oftentimes people have still been conditioned to disguise a little bit who they are, because they're in this setting. Y'all agree with that? Disagree?
I absolutely agree with it.
I'm sorry, Kenny. Go ahead, brother.
But like April was saying,
Tell us about them feeling on you.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, honestly, it's like I'm one of them guys. Even here in the church, even if it was here outside church, we love in church. I know that, but I allow the woman to show me what she wants from me. If it's a fist bump, a handshake, I'm going to embrace her the way she wants me to embrace her. I'm not going to embrace her like, yeah, I'm in love with you and squeak. I'm not going to do that. And people say, why do you do that? I said, because she's a female. I have respect for her, whether she has respect for herself or not. I'm going to respect her. And, but yeah, like April said, don't do that. I mean, squeezing my arms, getting in close to me, you know, and it's real. I mean, I don't ever say anything, but now we're being real, so I'm going to keep it real. You know, it's all about respect on both ends. Men respect the female and the female respect the male. You know, my grandma always taught me, and I use her a lot when I do things, that's your body's yours. It's your temple. Just like this is my temple. If I can't respect you in here, what you think I'm gonna do to you outside there? So that's my thing on that.
So basically, this is Kenny PSA. If you've been feeling on his biceps,
Public service announcement on behalf of Kenny Moore.
approach him the way.
Y'all leave my armor bearer alone. We're gonna have to do so much editing to this.
I want to say something on that. I think sometimes, like, what intent do you have? And what I mean by that
Absolutely, Kay.
did you come to church to find someone? Like, are you coming here trying to pick somebody off of the opposite sex? Or did you come here trying to get your spirit fed and you just happened to notice that other person while you was there? And I think that like changes everything altogether. Cause like women, y'all intuitive. Y'all not dumb. Y'all know if a man coming to church, you see people looking around, scoping the scene, or are they actually into the word? So it's what intent do you have? If you coming to church to pick somebody out, you stop that. Just stop it.
Just stop it.
Just stop it.
Can I say something on that? Kip, it's funny, going like Pastor, I've been in my church all my life too. My grandma had me in church. It's like some people, if somebody's looking for something. And I'm not nothing against females, it can be a male or female, but when you come to church like you just left the club, dressed like you just came out the club, that's
Kenny.
keeping it 100. I mean, that's...
Kenny.
And a pastor that I was doing security for before I came here, the woman came to church just like that. He called her out. She said it was too cold in church. It was summertime outside. He said, he said on the pulpit, he said, I'm not turning the air down. When you come to church dressed like you come from a club, then that's what you get. He said it. He said it to her.
I can't rock with that.
And,
I can't rock with that.
I say
my thing is like you said, you don't come to church. It's all about, for me, it's all about self-respect. Whether you have a nice body or not, if you got a nice body, why? It's not for everybody to see. It's not for everybody. It's not. I'm just being honest with that. I mean, y'all can stop right there.
Kenny, hand me that shovel. Hand me
And
that
he's
shovel,
already 3
boy.
feet in, Pastor. He's already 3 feet in.
I'm gonna try to get him to stop digging.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
All right, I'm gonna try to come rescue you in a minute, but I'm gonna let the sharks nibble at you for just a little bit, cause they.
Okay, so when it comes to how a woman dresses, I don't look at a woman or a man to say that he or she does not respect himself or herself based on how they dress, especially if they're coming to church. Especially if they're coming to a place to where they're already probably being judged before they even walk through the doors and take a seat. I only think about how much courage it must take for them to come based on what they're wearing. And so many times women are counseled out. We talk about cancel culture, but women are counseled out or labeled or judged because of their outward appearance. But the truth is, we don't know what's going on the inside. There's obviously something going on the inside for them to project that on the outside. And to find someone who's willing to take the opportunity to get to know them, because ministry is through invitation only. So don't minister to me. Don't judge me if you haven't even invited yourself to have a relationship with me. If I haven't invited you to have a relationship with me. So I would just say to just be cautious about labeling women, not saying that you are, but to anyone who's listening, be cautious about how you label or judge a woman based on her appearance or what she's wearing, or if it's too skimpy, or if it doesn't fit your taste or your standards. You don't know what people deal with on the inside. And just because I look the part or I look classy, I may have a whole freak going on the inside that you can't see. So it's all about getting to know the person as a person first. And then even from there, we can't even make assumptions or a judgment based on what we see on the outside.
And I was just going to say, because I've seen it before in church, you have some people that are new Christians. That's all they got to wear to church.
Gotcha.
And I've literally been in that position where I've seen it happen right before my eyes.
Mm-hmm. So
to be a pastor and to call it out from the pulpit, totally inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like that, one, especially if they're in that position where it's like, that's all I got, but I'm going anyway. I'm pretty sure they already have this self-doubt, or what have you, going to church that way anyway. But for you to call it out from the pulpit, totally inappropriate in that setting. Like, you don't know what somebody's going through. You never know what their walk is. So
That's true.
So I get it about Bible say, "Come as you are." I think you should be able to walk out the strip club and go straight to church, because that's the type of place that church. That's the type of place church should be. But on the same side of it, it's like, as a man, it's distracting. Like I come in and I got I came here to hear the word, but girl, you put the sun in sundress, and I don't want to focus on it, but it just happens, and it's like. I think there's like a personal. I'm
sorry, y'all, because the audience cannot see Tina. Tina's behind the camera. and Tina is free to make all the facial expressions she wants to make, but she right in my face. And so I can't even keep a nice little poised face because of all this. Tina almost gave herself whiplash a few minutes ago. So carry on. So you're seeing the girl who put the sun in the sundress, you say?
Now I'm hearing the song. You can edit this part out.
I thought it was a good idea to have the show.
Okay. Rework. You see a curve. You go to a church and the congregation predominantly black.
Yeah.
And in most churches, it's more women than it is more men. So to say like there's a lot of curvaceous women in the church when the congregation is predominantly black, that's a factual statement. And like my man mind don't turn off just because I walk through these church doors. Like I come in and I'm focused on the word, but like I notice it. Now there's some personal like, I literally got to pray myself. Pray, focus. Like I have to talk myself back into it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's nothing wrong on y'all's part or anything. Like you shouldn't be, you should come. It's better that you're there than not being there. But from my perspective, it is a distraction. Not that y'all have to do anything about it, but for men, that is a distraction.
Let me jump in this shark-infested water for a minute. Everything y'all just described does take place, so let's not say it doesn't. There are people who come and they're wearing what they got. There are some cases. There's some women that come. They come because they setting out bait. That's just real. Let's just call it what it is. But the reality of it is that the way I view this is that we ought to do church like Noah's Ark. And what I mean by that, there ought to be two of every kind in your church, at least. And so everybody should be able to come. We need a segment of the church that is mature enough to handle people in their immaturity. That's why one of the things I took away from this, and people do things and they're well-meaning, even though it becomes offensive to the recipient. And one of the things that we got rid of was people running to throw lap claws on people. And I was like, I nipped that. I was like, listen, trust me, I can handle a thigh while I'm preaching. I don't really see her while I'm preaching, so don't worry about her being on the front row. And I've been in some situations where some people are on the front row doing their damnedest to get my attention in different places. But the reality of it is, when you're committed to what you're doing, I see you, but I hear him. So, sweetie, it's all right. But what we've got to learn to do in every aspect of this, which ties back into the real subject matter of us meeting here, is the notion of relationship. There ought to be relationship that's developed. There ought to be people who, if we got a sister that's coming, or even got a brother that's coming, that's kind of getting past the line in terms of modesty. Relationship ought to be able to change that. If you don't know me, don't tell me what to do. That's my approach to it. And even in this church, I've had to pull people to the side who were complaining about so-and-so and what they're wearing. This, I said, here's my answer. Take her to lunch. Don't talk to her about her clothes. Take her to lunch. You're older than she is. Mother her a little bit. Help her to see. Help her to fall in love with God. Fall in love with her church. Teach her what KP just said. That could be distracting. And when you love your brothers, you don't want to be distracting. But that takes time. That takes conversation. Takes relationship. Coming from the pulpit to embarrass somebody, that's wrong. That's wrong in all cases. That was getting real good, wasn't it? And I know y'all hate that we had to stop that right in the middle. Listen, I know it was good. So guess what I got for you? We're going to continue this next Monday. So go ahead and put that on your calendar to be with us as we continue to talk to our single, saved folks. And I know we call it the battle of the sexes. If you notice, we're not fighting each other. We're not trying to say what's wrong with you. But that got your attention, didn't it? And so, but we'll be back here next Monday to continue this conversation. Thank y'all so much for supporting us. If you haven't shared this already, please share. We're doing our best, as the title says, to be a relevant church, meaning that we're trying to address the things that you are talking about and the things in which you want to know answers to. And so we thank you for your support. All right, we'll see you next Monday. Till then, much love.